We're live.
Hey, what's up, y'all? My name is Typo, and this is Dark Souls 1 Least Bosses. So before I hop into this run, I'm just going to give you a little bit of a base on what exactly this is, since it may be a little weird to hear the term Least Bosses. Basically, what you do is you only kill 4 bosses in this route. You kill Iron Golem, you kill ONS, you kill Gargoyles, and you kill Gwyn. You skip Asylum Demon, and you skip Quelaag, and I will show you exactly how that happens. It's kind of interesting to see. Anyway, let me just fill out my information here. It's kind of like filling in tax forms. I'm going to start out with Thief and Black Firebombs. The Thief gets the Master Key by default, and Black Firebombs are needed for Asylum Demon, otherwise you would have a very long fight. So we'll go it very slim, as we usually do. And those are all of the settings. So as soon as I press OK, we are ready to go with the timer. I'll count you down from 3, 2, 1, go right now, I guess, if that's good. So 3, 2, 1, go. All right. So I have successfully chosen Thief and Black Firebombs. That's a really good start, to be honest, because I make a lot of mistakes while I play this game. That's the first Gatekeeper, and the next one will be Asylum Demon. You need to make sure not to kill him. If you do kill him, you need to reset. So I'm going to be kind of cautious here, since I've only done a small amount of practice of this. I'm going to take off this clothing. I'm also going to put on the Dark Sign, because the Dark Sign is what allows me to get away from the Asylum Demon. I'm basically going to get him into the death animation, but he's not actually going to die, and you'll see that happen. So, walking into the arena, do the usual thing here that you might see in other runs. 1, 2, 3, he jumps at me, I roll away. Number 4, and then I need to move away from here. Throw another firebomb at him. And then I Dark Sign out. And it looks like he died, but he actually didn't. So we've successfully bypassed Asylum Demon without killing him, which is always a nice thing to do. For those that like pacifist runs, that's a pretty neat trick. You weren't supposed to do that, by the way. What I was supposed to do there was use this little hilt to hit the hollow, but it's only a small time loss, so not too big a deal. Anyway, trigger the boulder, let the boulder go through the wall. We'll talk to this guy here. His name's Oscar. He's going to give me the Estus that we all know is very useful in this game. And then head through the gate and get our confirmation that Asylum Demon is actually still alive and well, and that he will not be harmed for the duration of this run. So he's going to continue his life in this small cell while I go about exploring these lands. He can hit me here. Hopefully he won't, because I really don't like to take damage. Looks like I'm pretty good. So I'm going to leave him behind and head out to Firelink Shrine. And that is the first boss skip of the run. Alright, so we skip some cutscenes there and head on over to a few chests on the backside near those skeletons that cause so much trouble for casual runs of this game. Wandering into the graveyard and realizing that you're screwed. We're not going to go over there, though. I'm going to go to 2 chests here, both of which are pretty important. First one being the set of Homeward Bones. I'm going to switch over to those. The second one being these Lloyd's Talismans. You'll see why I get those later. So now that I have the Homeward Bones and I can keep my souls, I'll just bone out and head down the elevator to New Londo Ruins. I'm not going to actually go into the ruins themselves. I'm going to go over to grab the Red Tearstone Ring, because as everyone may know, the Red Tearstone Ring makes speedruns faster and a bit more exciting. So let me drop this hilt here. Reorganize some of my equipment. I want the Lloyd's Talismans and the Black Firebombs, just like that. Trigger the plate in the elevator, because we're going to be coming down this elevator one more time. And I'm going to grab this object over here, which is the S-Stock. Now the S-Stock has two uses in this actually. One use is coupled with a bow, you can perform a move swap, which causes you to take the running, plunging, and rolling animation of a weapon and put it on another weapon. So doing that allows you to take a big clumsy weapon like the Dragon Tooth, for example, and do a ton of damage in a small amount of time. And that's what I'll be doing for ONS, Gargoyles, and Gwyn to kill them fairly quickly. The other use of the S-Stock is to knock off those stupid painting guardians on the rafters, because those guys are just real assholes. I'm gonna grab the Soul of a Proud Knight. It's gonna help me get to my optimal soul count. You're gonna see that I'm gonna need 27 strength to use the Dragon Tooth, and I'm eventually gonna want 30 endurance, coupled with the Fat Ring that you get from Lautrec, to do a fast roll. And you don't really need to do a fast roll, but it makes everything a lot nicer, so that's a pretty big thing as well. Yeah, indeed, that is a lot of damage. Okay, I'm gonna try to get it along the side of these blue, I don't know, what are they, birds or something? I'm not really sure. Alright, that's a pretty good pattern. Just walk past them and get on the ladder here. So I have my soul, I have everything that I pretty much need in my inventory. You can die to getting a sword roll here, or just to a bad pattern by these enemies down here. So hopefully that doesn't happen. Most of the time it doesn't. With any luck, I will be completely safe. It looks like I am. Alright, so now that I'm away from those lightning-breathing behemoths, I'm gonna head past this guy and up the elevator. Use this Soul of a Proud Knight, and head on over to get the Grass Crest Shield. Now, if I was running this for the best possible time, I would do another warp here. But since this is an RTA run, I'm going to opt out of doing this warp. Normally you would grab the Hunter set. I think it's a Hunter set. Yeah. And also the Hunter set and the bow, or whatever it is up there. And then you would do a Force Quit Wrong Warp. But I'm not going to do that. I'm just going to sneak past this guy and head on up straight to where the Titanite Demon and Andre are. So number one, let's get that Grass Crest Shield on so I can get some extra stamina regen. And number two, I'm going to go pick up that Hunter gear. The rest of the gear isn't important. The only thing that's important about it is having the bow. Alright, so that guy is chasing after me, but he's not really a worry. There is the longbow and the set of feather arrows. Arrows are also important to kill Guinevere. You can always throw a bomb at her, though. Alright, so, I mean, one of the things in this game is there's a lot of running around. So you have these long periods of time where I'm basically just running through areas doing nothing. But that's part of the Dark Souls experience. So, yeah, this is the upper part of Darkroot, where absolutely nothing happens. Alright, so Darkroot Garden, coming around the corner to this Titanite Demon. This guy's not too much of a worry either. You can kind of sneak around him on either side, depending on which side he moves towards. Looks like he's going to face the right side. Okay, looks like he's going to do that weird attack. Whatever, dude. Now, sadly, even though Andre is a great guy and he has supplies for us, we're not going to use any of those supplies, so we're not going to talk to him in this run. I'm going to head on over to the bonfire. I need to level up to get 11 strength. So that 11 strength, I don't think I needed quite 11 strength, but you might as well put it on anyway. I think I just need 10 to use the Grass Crest Shield effectively. But here is another skip in the game that you may have seen before. This is called Sen's Gate Skip. Not having to ring either bell, just using the death cam animation to get through the gate. So I'm going to parry and riposte this guy. Just like so. So you can see that my character is in top-down mode now, and I have something similar to tank controls. So if you try this on your own, you're going to find that the controls are extremely unwieldy, but you do get used to them after a while. Anyway, you're just kind of going around the corner here and then heading out towards Sen's Fortress. Since you're in death cam mode, things are unloaded or deloaded, or whatever you want to call it. So I can go straight through Sen's without having to worry about that gate that's normally in front of there. I do have to quit out to get out of death cam mode, and now I am safely within Sen's Fortress, and I just have to get through everything here and get over to Iron Golem. So these pendulums are just on a timer. Once you do this enough, you get used to how they swing back and forth, and you can kind of just run through this. You have this snake here that's attempting to throw lightning at you, but not much is going to happen there either. And then, as you've probably seen numerous times, this guy gets hit by a boulder, which is pretty normal. Alright, going through this fog gate, gonna put on those arrows I picked up earlier. They'll be useful later on. And instead of going up, I'm going to go over to the side because there is an item here that I really do want. So normally you'd have to kill this mimic, but luckily these things make it much easier to grab these items from the mimic. So there you go. I got my lightning spear. I'm gonna equip that right now. Put on the red tearstone ring. And I do need to change the order of where the lightning spear is, just so I don't mistakenly move swap the wrong thing. Alright, so coming around the corner here, there is a arrow trap. Normally you would avoid this. I'm actually going to use it to get an RTSR set up, just like this. And that'll allow me to do more damage to the Iron Golem. I'm gonna slap this snake in the face, or that was more like the chest area. Alright, nothing to do with this fog gate. Alright, now that I'm on top of Sen's Fortress, just a lot of running around. You don't really want to stop here because there are firebombs that are constantly thrown at you, and if you do pause for too long, you'll probably get hit by one. So it's best to just keep running. And that is exactly what I'm going to be doing, because I'm trying to go fast. Alright, so coming around this corner, I have an archer that I need to deal with. I'll just poke him like that. That's good enough. The lightning spear is actually pretty powerful, and with RTSR it makes it even better. So you can see that I won't have to do too much to Iron Golem either. It'll be a pretty easy fight. Just cycle to the outside here, then do 1, 2, and 3. That staggers him, then 1 and 2 knocks him off. And there we are. I'm not running a timer, so I'm not sure how fast I got to Anor Londo, but that's reasonably fast. It's not the best you can do. It would be shorter to take a different route, but sadly that route requires you to kill another boss, and this is least bosses, so we have to take the slower route. Yeah, no insane strats in this, you'll see. We don't do anything insane. Alright, normally I wouldn't take this bonfire, but I am taking it now because this is kind of a safety for the marathon. Some bad things can happen in Anor Londo, particularly on the rafters from those painting guardians. Thank you for the 12, by the way. Reminds me of how fast or slow I'm going. I want to put on the core of an Iron Golem here because I'm going to dupe this 3 times. This is going to give me enough souls to use the Dragon Tooth properly and get a little endurance on the way. So, Jump off that. Jump onto this little walkway here, and always nice to use some Estus before you get onto the rafters because, as I said before, a lot of bad things can happen here. Alright, so first thing is this ladder. You can get hit by these daggers that are being thrown. Luckily I did not. I did fall off though, so that's kind of bad. Alright, they were nice enough to let me through again. Alright, so now that I'm on the rafters, just kind of like a pretty basic navigation thing around here. The only thing you have to worry about is these two guys. The first guy was nice, and the second guy was nice as well. In particularly bad situations, they can both get very close to you and backstab you and hit you off and do all kinds of horrible things. So if they don't get in your way, then that's really good. Alright, rotate the device there to move this whole structure down. And now I'm going to head past the Silver Knight archers, as well as those lightning dudes. I always forget their names. I think they're lightning spear, batwing demons. Yeah, that's it. Alright, that guy's doing a bat attack, so you gotta roll that. Come around the corner here. Roll out of the way of that as well. Everything out here is trying to kill you for some reason. Yeah, a lot of the enemies in this game are actually just birds. It's interesting that they would do that. Alright, so it should be pretty good here. Just gonna wait for this guy to commit suicide. And now we have the safety of the interior of Anor Londo, which is terrific, because I do love checkpoints. Alright, so sitting at this bonfire, I'm going to level up to 27 strength, as I said before, and put the rest into endurance. The endurance doesn't matter too much, but it is still nice to have a little bit of extra endurance for running around and for handling that large dragon tooth, which does take away your endurance pretty quickly, your stamina that is. Alright, very important, this part. Without the dragon tooth, this run would not be what it is. So, thank you so much for being down here, dragon tooth. I'm gonna grab that and then get out of here. Okay, so RTSR. The reason we got this ring is to get some RTSR setups. This guy happens to have a pretty nice one. Gonna jump over this railing, hopefully successfully, and I did. And if I drop off the ledge right up here, I'll get a pretty nice RTSR setup. There we go, I'm in range. Don't have to worry about that guy, he's doing a slow attack. So what I did there is a move swap, which I explained before. So this dragon tooth is going to be actually fairly fast and do a ton of damage. So let's see what kind of fight I get here. That's not a great start. So I took a death there, and I'm okay with that, because I thought I might have been out of range of his hammer, but I wasn't. Anyway, I can go back to putting on the longbow and doing this small section over again, which isn't too much of a time waste. So I'll take that RTSR setup and I'll head on back and see if I can get a better fight this time. Alright, so same thing here. I'm just going to drop down, get that similar RTSR setup, and head back into the fight. Move swap again. And see if he does the dash opening. He does. It seems like I am pretty good at missing that second shot. I am going to want to... What is Smo doing? Okay. Oh no, dude. I was really hoping he wasn't going to do that one thing. Okay, so now I'm gonna have to do some soul dupes because I did lose some of my souls. No, wait. I probably don't need any dupes actually. I might need one dupe. It's probably not gonna be too bad. Alright, so I don't have much more to explain here since I'm basically just doing the same thing over and over again. That is what happens when you do a move swap too fast. It's a very slow animation and causes much trouble. To avoid getting hit by that guy, since he does do like a Wrath of the Gods type thing, I'm going to quit out there. So this way I can do a move swap without that guy bothering me. Just want to make sure he's not coming towards me. Yeah. Here we go. Okay, so we're getting that same attack again. There we go. Actually got it that time. Look at that. So that's how the fight is supposed to go. Unfortunately, it did not go that way the other two times I did it. Here, Smoke can kind of be an asshole and jump back like that. You really don't want him to do that because then you can't stagger him properly. And you kind of just waste your time. But that's the fight. I am definitely going to miss the elevator here. There's no way I'm making this. So what I'll do is, I want to use the Soul of, I don't want to use the Soul of Smo. I want to use the Core of the Iron Golem. I could dupe the Soul of Smo here, I guess, but we'll see if I have enough, souls. I think I will. I don't think it's going to be an issue. Alright, shoot Guinevere. It's the fastest way to do this. And then get out of here. So done with ONS, that's 2 of the bosses out of 4 down. First thing I want to do is warp over to Firelink. This is important because you save a warp by doing this. So heading on over to Undead Parish now. And gonna kill gargoyles. Gargoyles are a pretty simple boss with a weapon as overpowered as the Dragon Tooth. So we'll probably make quick work of the gargoyles, hopefully. There are always things that can go wrong. This is Dark Souls after all, and I am the one playing the game, so those two things coupled together do make for some interesting failures. But then again, everything could go perfectly. Alright, that guy's not going to do anything. This guy, need to kind of just get around. Don't want him to poke you in the butt or anything. I'm going to block these hollows that come jumping at me. And then navigate my way around these guys. So you can do something called a ladder move swap here. You can move swap on a lot of different animations. But I'm pretty bad at ladder move swap because of the way I hold the controller. So I'll just do a normal move swap at this fog gate. Alright, so our 2 gargoyle friends. That's the first one. And that's the second one. And that is the Third boss down. Alright, I don't need this thing anymore. But I definitely want the solo smo. I kind of claw the controller. My right thumb is on the right analog, my left thumb is on the left analog, and then I have my pointer finger kind of curled around to claw the run button. Alright. Ring the bell, and done with that. So 72,000 souls, I think that should be fine. Lautrec's down here, he's an asshole. I do want his ring. Okay. I have the ring. I have all my trusty supplies. And the solo smo is useful here because I'm going to dupe it twice. Just like so. And put on that Ring of Favor and Protection because it's going to help me get the needed equip load to fast roll. Alright, so since I already had my failures with the ONS fight, I'm guessing this part's going to go perfectly. The whole Quelaag skip, the whole Blighttown section of this is actually really cool because a lot of things go on to try to get past Quelaag. We'll see how well I do with all this. The first thing I need to do is do a little skip here to get to the bottom. So let's see if I can get this. That's a pretty good jump. That's a good plunge animation. And that's a good roll. Okay. So that's a good start. Alright, I use a Soul of Smo there. And that should be more than enough. I think I only need like 101 and I have 109, so that's really good. And by the way, I take off all my equipment there because it's easier to do those plunges when you have very, very, very low equipment load. Alright, so leveling up to 30 endurance. There it is. Putting on the Grass Crest shield again because that regeneration is really nice. Alright, there are these boulder guys around here. You can take a path further to the right to have them not really aggro that much. But I'm just going to run straight through them because that's more fun. Okay, so the reason I'm going over to Quelaag right now is because you can't really do the skip without triggering the fight first. So let me put on my Lightning Spear, which I'll need again later. The Lightning Spear is just so great in this route. I love having this weapon. And the other thing I'm going to do is basically just go into the fight and then bone out, because I don't want to fight Quelaag. I just want to trigger the fight so I can skip Quelaag in about 5 minutes or so. So now that I'm here, I just get out of there. That's it. Okay, here comes the most interesting part of the run in my personal opinion. I need to set up a little death cam thing again, so I'm going to do a few rolls here. Try to get up here. There's a blow dart sniper here that makes things kind of annoying. Hopefully it doesn't hit me too much. You can kind of sneak past that one enemy there, but sometimes he gets in your way, so I just killed him. Alright, these guys can hit you. Shouldn't matter too much. It's always that blow dart sniper that you're worried about. The reason I have the full thief set on is to kind of negate the toxic and poison that you get from the blow dart sniper. You can actually take two of those snipes, I think, without having to worry about anything. Anyway, I'm going to kill these two guys up here. To de-aggro the blow dart sniper, I will just quit out. And now the setup for the death cam. If you stand at the very edge of this, you can set up a death cam. I hit the wrong pots there, but that's fine. And you need to be very careful. If you walk just a little bit too far, you're going to die. So I just want to do that and nothing more. If I went one more step, I would die from the death cam. So do a little plunge there, just like that. Do another plunge here, just like that, but I screwed it up, so I took damage. The damage there doesn't really matter too much. I'm just going to have to use maybe one extra heal. And yeah, now I'm just wandering around in death cam again. Put on that grass crest shield for the regen. The rest of the enemies are despawned. It's just those 2 crag spiders down there. Everything else is gone. Alright, so there are multiple ways to do the actual Quelaag skip. You can do it without using any items at all. But I feel like it's better in a marathon to actually show objects on the ground so that people actually see where I'm going. It's very hard to get an idea of where you're traveling within Quelaag's arena if there aren't objects on the ground. And it does make the skip easier for me as well. So what I'll do is I'll be placing arrows on the ground here. I need to take those off. And I'm going to heal real quick because I still do have poison. Alright. Okay, so I entered Quelaag's arena. I'm heading over to the right side because I want to hit a wall. And it's going to kind of push me to the side. Just like that. So that is the wall I want to hit. And I'm going to end up in like a little notch somewhere. And once I hit that notch, I'll know it. Okay, so this should be it. And go around the corner here. And then I'm going to drop another arrow because I know that I'm very close to the pit over here and I don't want to fall in the pit. Alright. So I'm going to be a little bit careful here just to make sure that I get down the staircase. And there we go. So once you do that little animation where you're kind of heading down in a circle, you know that you've hit the staircase, and you can just quit out. If you don't hit the staircase and you quit out, you end up at the fog gate again. But as long as you're on the staircase, you'll appear back in this area, which is what you want to do every time. So I hope I explained that skip fairly well, but it's a pretty weird skip, and it's kind of complicated to begin with. But that is how you get past Quelaag without killing Quelaag. It takes a pretty long time. It's probably better just to kill her. Alright, last boss is Gwyn. Now, normally you can't get to Gwyn because you don't have the Lord Souls, but I'm going to be a dirty cheater again and use something called a Force Quit. It's a wrong warp, and what you do is you have to close a game in the last, I think, 3 or 4 frames of the bonfire animation. So let's see if I get this properly. Alright, that might have been a little bit too soon. But you can just keep doing it for as many times as you want. It's a pretty small time loss if you miss it. You just have to head on back to where Frampt is and give it another go. But I think that might have been like probably like 1 or 2 frames too early. Oh, it wasn't. Okay, so that was probably the first successful frame for the Force Quit. And what that does is it gives you a default position, which is inside the kiln. So you automatically warp into the area, which is supposed to be the end of the game. That guy gives me an RTSR setup, which is going to be very useful for Gwyn. This guy has a big sword. And sometimes he'll hit you with it. But he was nice there. Just doing a move swap there again, because I'll need that for Gwyn. There's 2 ways you can kill Gwyn, really, that are pretty quick with melee. One is with move swap, and the other is with parries. Also, by the way, I don't like this guy, so I'm just gonna kill him. It's a little bit faster to go around him, but it's a little bit more fun to kill him. Alright, so always walk to the left side of this guy and he can't hit you. And always walk to the right side of this guy and he will never hit you. And that's it. We're now at Gwyn. Hopefully I don't die. There are ways that he can still kill you. So I'm going to roll, do that, stagger him, try to get behind him, and just do something like that. And just continually stagger him. And it should just be one more now. And that's it. It's pretty easy when you have RTSR and a big weapon like this. But he can still do like jump backs and stuff. But in general that fight's not too bad unless you just get bad RNG. So that is it. That is Force Quit. I'm not sure how quickly I did it. It was a pretty good run actually, except for the 2 deaths to ONS. Those were the only real issues, so I'm guessing it was probably around like 35, 36 minutes.
34, 47.
Oh, not bad. Okay, cool. Yeah, the reason that I made the estimate 45 minutes for this is because if you do happen to fail the Quelaag skip, it takes you a long time to get back. So one failure is probably a good 5 or 6 minutes off your time. But if you do practice it enough, even though it looks kind of awkward, you get used to like where everything is in the arena. And dropping stuff like arrows makes it easier to navigate through and figure out where you are. So it gets a lot easier, and I feel like it's pretty much like 90% consistent at this point. So that's a nice thing. Although you know, this category isn't really much of a highly run category. It's more of a miscellaneous category. But yeah, that was Dark Souls Least Bosses. As usual, thank you for having me. I pop into these marathons whenever I can with runs, and I really appreciate all the work the restreamers and the organizers do. And if you're interested in running Dark Souls at all, feel free to search for Speed Souls and stop by the Speed Souls Discord. I swear to God, we are quite friendly. So yeah, feel free to stop by and ask any questions you want if you feel like speedrunning the game. But yeah, that should be it for me. Anything else, Dale?
I mean, watching that was a trip. I've never seen that category.
Yeah.
About the Quelaag skip, so that was entertaining.
Yeah, it is quite strange. You won't really see that in any other run, so that's why I think Least Bosses is pretty cool for being unique like that.
But yeah, I mean, thanks for the run. Really entertaining. Really good game.
All right, cool. All right, thanks for having me. I'm gonna head out. See you guys.
1, 2, 3.